Hi, fifth grade. This is Mrs. Brands, and we are looking at Investigation Review 9. So let's take a look at what we have today. Today we're going to be looking at plotting coordinates on a graph, and we're going to look at a little bit of vocabulary before we get started. So we have a coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is two perpendicular lines that meet at point 0. So here's your perpendicular lines, and they meet at point 0. That would be point 0 right there in the middle. Okay? And our x-axis goes left to right. Our y-axis goes north to south or up and down. Okay? The coordinates are what we call the numbers in the parentheses, which give us where the point is located. And those points will be located on the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is this whole area that we have here, this up and down axis, and then all those little lines that we have in between there. That's called the coordinate plane. All right, so when you plot a point, you want to start with the x-axis first. So we go to the right or we go to the left, depending on what our number is, and then you go to the y-axis, which is the up or the down. Okay, x first, then y. And x is going like this across, y goes up and down. Y like a yo-yo, right? Yo-yo starts with y, and a yo-yo goes up and down. So you can think of that y-axis as that thing that goes up and down. So if I wanted to plot 3, 6, I always start with the x first. It's like I said before, we walk down the street and then we take the elevator up or down once we get to the proper building. So for 3, I go down the street first, 1, 2, 3 blocks down, and then I go to floor 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right on that place, right where that dot is, or our dot would go right there in that spot. So let's get our pen on here, and we'll put that on there then. 1, 2, 3 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. So we put our dot right there on our graph. Okay. Now, again, when we look at this, we go to a grid, our coordinate plane, and we want to put 5 and 7 on there. So 5 on the x, we go down 5 blocks, and then we take the elevator up to floor 7, and there's 7, so that's 5 and 7. If I had 0 and 5, I wouldn't have to go anywhere up, but up 0 blocks over, and we go up the elevator to floor 5. And there we are, 0 and 5. So one more, if we had 7 and 1, we'd go down 7 blocks to the right, and then we go up the elevator to floor 1. And that's how we find those coordinates, those pairs that we are looking at. Okay. When we look at one more thing, we can figure out how to do different translations or reflections. We can look at those type of things and do those on a grid. It kind of helps us. So in this case of a slide, if I had the red triangle and they said slide it over, make it congruent. So I'm going to slide it over. In this situation, what we do is we start with a point, and we're going to make the other point someplace over there. So I chose to go 5 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I look at this point that's on number 9, I want to go 5 back. So I go 5 backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to number 4. And then I want to do the same thing with this one. This one's at 7, I'm going to go 5 backwards, so I'm going to end up at 2. And then that would give me a way to draw a slide or a translation of this triangle, and I made it into the green triangle. It's exactly the same triangle, only it's moved over. And if we use the same amount each time, then we get the right size triangle. You can also do that with a reflection. You could take this one here. That line's going to stay the same because it's a reflection. So you'd have your line for 1 and 7, and 4 and 7 will stay the same. And then we just want to flip it over here. So this goes out 2 to 9. So this is going to go back 2 to 5. And then all I have to do is connect the dots from 5 up to here. And that would give me a reflection. So a translation and a reflection are pretty easy to do there. A rotation you can do too, but that's a little bit more complex, but it's okay to do. I mean, it's not too bad to learn. It's in your book too. You can look at a rotation in your book. But this is your lesson for today. It's really short, but it's an important one to learn too. And you have a worksheet on coordinating points and putting them on there, and I hope you enjoy that, because I think that's always fun. If you go to ABC, you can also find that treasure game that we've played at school in the past. So hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.